Meech and Terry become inspired by a rising R&B singer and decide to launch a record label together, an ambitious pivot beyond their traditional drug empire. Terry's solo ambitions, while teaming up on music, Terry plots his own power grab to assert control over the family's St. Louis operations. The brothers' combined focus on music and expansion masks deeper tensions. This move brings fresh opportunities but promises to deepen old divisions, foreshadowing conflict. As the music business gambit unfolds, it becomes clear that St. Louis could spark a power struggle. With Terry's actions risking backlash and new enemies, this episode sets the stage for a bold direction in the Flannery Empire, entwining legitimate aspiration with inevitable family and turf-based conflict. Let me know if you'd like character-focused details or scene-by-scene breakdowns. The bad blood between the Flannery brothers continues to grow, sending them down different paths. Terry and Meech have big plans to expand their business through several means. However, the rift that opened between them after their dangerous trip to Mexico sends them further and further apart from each other. Meanwhile, B. Mickey, an old friend turned nemesis, struggles to make ends meet. Still, despite the stunt he pulled the other day with Lamar Silas, he stays firmly out of the brothers' good book. On the other hand, trouble brews in the Flannery household when a misstep sends Nicole's promising future into turmoil when she's picked up by a cop and forced to spend a night in lockup. Meech and the Black Mafia family have a lengthy and complex history with Bryant. For years, he has been making numerous sacrifices in an attempt to apprehend the criminal organization and its ringleader. Since the gang's multi-state growth, it appears that his goal hasn't altered at all. As a result, during a support group meeting, he finds himself going back to their former area. But when a turf battle starts, he finds himself drawing the wrong attention. Consequently, he is arrested by the local police. This ultimately results in an unanticipated offer of collaboration. The majority of the criminal lowlifes that sell BMF stash around the area are the ones the police are trying to get off the streets. Given that Bryant has Meech in his sights, their interests will unavoidably coincide. After determining that one plane arriving from Colombia would be a potential stowaway for the gang's cash, they devise a coordinated sting operation. However, after the other detective is killed in an early gunfight, the operation takes a detour. Even worse, there are no indications that the aircraft is associated with the criminal group. But this is truly intentional. Meech purposefully put Bryant up for a trap since he was on his track. Meech's business associates are actually transporting his actual hoard separately. Ein's ignorant of the potential for rebellion within his own leadership. Despite having a good friendship with Meech, he is expelled from the criminal organization for the same reason. Since then, he has worked hard at the plant in an attempt to get back on his feet. However, B. Mickey's income hardly compensates for his young daughter's illness and subsequent costly treatment. As a result, he finds it extremely difficult to save enough cash to support his family. He even makes an attempt to ask the local church for assistance. The Flannery brothers were so contacted by B. Mickey on the evening of Nicole's graduation. However, despite the fact that she shot Lamar to protect them, the two still avoid him. Nevertheless, he gets Terry to meet with him. He and Meech have had a tense relationship since Mexico, which has caused them to decide on the gang together. Nevertheless, he is aware that it is important to consult his brother before making any decisions regarding B. Mickey. He also has no intention of trusting the man once more. Terry gives the father some money to cover his daughter's surgery for the same reason. The latter, however, declines the offer, stating that he truly needs a means of earning a living for his family. When Meech finally returns from a protracted absence in the previous episode, he presents a gift for his sister's graduation. There is a lot of pomp and excitement when he gives Nicole her own car. A few days later, the young girl and her boyfriend drive the car. But it doesn't take long for some police officers to notice it. The car immediately pings official systems as stolen. As it turns out, Nicole ends up in an interrogation room with a police officer who is keen to accuse her brothers. She refuses to turn on Meech, though, and continues to stand her ground. Nicole spends the remainder of the night in jail after making her one phone call to her mother to request that she bring bail money. The news surprises Lucille and Charles, who now have to figure out how to raise enough money to cover their daughter's bail. They're determined not to borrow any money from Meech because his illicit funds were the root of the issue. Charles eventually finds himself forced to part with his prized musical instrument in order to make a quick profit. When her mother tries to embarrass Nicole for choosing to have sex with her boyfriend, Nicole gets into a heated argument with her. For better or worse, the young woman appears to have been resentful of her family as a result of the unjust penalty of spending a night in lockup.